Hey everyone, Catherine Cohen here with you on the Funnels and Follow-Up Show, where we talk about creating your funnels. No, not just the thing that you do in Kartra, but that entire system of bringing people into your world, into your business world, getting them to get to know you, like you, and trust you. That's a funnel. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a funnel. The other things, well, sure, they call them funnels too, but those are just the electronic ways of bringing people in and out of your funnel. Those are just the accoutrements, if you will, of your funnel. But really, the funnel are the things that you do to attract people into your world. And then you've got the follow up, because once people are in your world, you got to follow up with them. You have to create a relationship. Yeah, you gotta call back. You can't just email. You have to create that relationship. And to that end, today, I am going to bring into the studio Marilyn Sutherland. Marilyn Sutherland brings relationship magic to your business and personal life. So you're confident, you're happy, you're connected. Connection is what it's all about, people. Connection is what it's all about. Marilyn is a transformational relationship and communication coach and consultant with 35 plus years of experience. She started when she was only 5 years old. Success in any relationship whatsoever requires skills that most of us are never taught and either learn the hard way, or for you socially inept people out there, and you know you're out there, you never bothered to learn them. So listen up today. Her passion is to end the suffering of people that people have around their relationships. Boy, I could talk today because they don't have the connection, trust, partnership, caring, and safety with people they care about personally and professionally. So without further ado, I am going to welcome my fellow leader, my friend, we are in some masterminds together. Marilyn Sutherland. Marilyn, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be here. Finally,
I know.
Meanwhile, I'm in the camera part of StreamYard and I can't get out when I exit or hit the back camera.
You're good. You
can see, because I can't see you, but you can see me.
I can see you. Well, here's the thing. We're either broadcasting this really well or we're totally screwing it up. And that's it.
Okay.
One of the other. So,
all right. Let's do it.
Let's talk a little bit about the book. Why did you write it? What's the love orientation of the book, and how does that flow with business?
Yeah. So here's the book. It's a Kindle book right now, and it's called "Why Did You Load the Dishwasher Like That?" The 9 whopping. Yeah, that's like that. The 9 whopping mistakes that push love away.
Okay.
And the reason that I wrote it was because I couldn't write about everything. And so I wrote about love first, but everything in that book is also about our relationships in business and being a leader. Because if you want to connect deeply with the people that you care about, whether they're your partner, your kids, your parents, your friends, or your colleagues, your boss, your employees, whoever, your vendors, if you want a relationship with people, in many ways, it's the same skills and it's the same you showing up. So the more that we are able to be ourselves, to be vulnerable, to be authentic.
Yeah.
And the way you do it as a leader, of course, is going to be different than the way you do it as a lover or a parent, but the ideas are the same.
Sure. So execution is different. Fundamentals are the same.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And, the thing is, you don't, at work, we can't even touch people now, much less shake a hand. But of course, if you're home with family, you're going to hug them and kiss them. And that's how you show love. you don't do that at work. When we're on a video, you might high five people or send them a heart or something.
I never know what hand to appear with. Hi.
Yeah. So, and the other piece is I have done a little mini book for business, and I took the heart of the content without the stories, because the stories were all about love and relationship. And if anybody's interested in that, yeah, that's one of the things you can reach out to me for. I just got a new computer, and I mean, I couldn't even get my camera to work.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And I thought it worked, but it's not all of a sudden. So anyway, yeah.
Today is a day for technical difficulties, but
yes,
isn't every day a day for technical difficulties for
yes,
us non-techies?
yeah. I'm praying this is the end of my computer stuff. But I said to my IT guy, "Oh my God, I'm so glad I'm not going to have any more problems." And he went, "Well, we got a while to get everything set up."
Oh my gosh, you jinxed it, Marilyn. You drink. Let's hope that you don't have any more IT problems. So
yeah.
You've got the book. It's about pushing love away. It's about relationships. There is the version that is made for personal relationships. There's the version that is made for business relationships. If you read the personal relationships, you'll get the gist of the business relationships. I'm guessing in life, but I want to talk about business. There is the fear, the dreaded, horrifying, gut-wrenching fear of following up.
Yep. Yes. Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure everyone who's listening to this is here because they have some issue with follow-up, except for very few people who just can pick up the phone and call anybody about anything and close a sale. But most of us don't want to be salesy. We don't want to be pushy. We want to be of service. We don't want to be rejected. No. We don't want to blow our chances. We have so many expectations that we're putting on top of this conversation.
Right.
It's torture.
Torture is a great way to describe it. Yeah. It is absolutely torturous. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, I can do it.
I'm going to call them. I'm going to call them right now.
You know I am.
217. Oh, they're not going to answer. Or they don't answer. Oh my God, thank God. Okay, I did a call for today. Now I'm going to go do something else. Yeah. I'm going to write content. I'm going to go make lunch.
Lunch and content. Those are my two favorite things.
Or I'm going to brew some tea and I'm going to let it sit for a while. I have to be in the kitchen. Yeah. So I wanted to, one of the things I definitely am going to dive into this, but I just want to put the conversation for fear of follow-up on hold for just a minute or two and talk about the global pandemic that we're in, and that the global pandemic has caused uncertainty in all the areas of our life. I mean, I ordered on Instacart, which is, grocery delivery, for a year before COVID kicked in. And all of a sudden I couldn't get things like almond milk. And even now it's hard to get. You never know when you're ordering what you're going to get like that. You don't know if you have a job, when you're going to go back to work, or if you're going to go back, or if you go back and then somebody gets sick, it closes down again. You don't know if your clients aren't going to be in business. You don't know if your family members who are leaving the house are going to come back home healthy. We don't know anything.
Right. We don't know anything.
And we never did, except the way humans are is we try to have order and security and certainty about
Maslow's hierarchy of what we need.
Exactly. Right at this, that's one of the basics, is certainty.
So how does this fear impact our business?
Well, because the uncertainty leads to fear and anxiety leads to stress. So first of all, before we even start on our business, we are now on a foundation of stress, uncertainty, anxiety, and fear.
Yep.
Now, and the thing to do about that is to just start to tune into your body. And if you are like a head and you aren't really aware of what's going on in your body, now is a good time to try. And what you want to do is just feel like if you feel jittery or something, instead of
Right.
going, no, I don't want to feel that. Yeah, feel it. Don't make
Feel-
it mean anything, but just, wow, I feel jittery inside. What is that? And maybe you don't even know, but just acknowledging that it's there, you own it. But if you say, I don't want to feel it, then your fear owns you. And then you've got that layer of fear on the bottom, and everything you're doing is on top of that. And then we're a mess.
Does feeling your fear, and I know this happens to me, and I have to pause and I've got to figure everything out. Oh my God, I got to figure it out. I got to figure it out. What's going on? I got to figure it out. But does feeling your fear and feeling through your fear, does that help to dissipate it in any way?
Yes, it does. But there's a way of feeling it where you're like, oh my God, I'm so afraid. I'm so nervous. I don't know what's going to happen. And we start this spiral, all these negative conversations and telling a truth about who we are and the world and what's happening that is doomed. And now we're not in the moment. We're in our heads in some past and future, a past that's and a future that we're afraid of that hasn't happened yet, and we're out of control.
Sure.
And we have a lot of anxiety and stress, and we can't think clearly, because when you have stress, your amygdala, which is that part of your brain that's like your animal brain, goes into fight, flight, flee, and please. So you're not thinking. Your executive thinking is gone. You're on a total reaction, animal instinct.
Animal instinct.
Nothing good is going to come from that unless a bear is coming at you, and then you're going to run like hell or whatever you're going to do.
Here in beautiful, sunny, hot Phoenix, Arizona, that's a problem for us. That bears are attacking us all the time. So there you have it. There you have it.
I think you're being sarcastic because I can't see you.
Wow. If you can't tell, I got to sharpen that sarcastic tool.
No, you don't. I think if I'd seen you, I would have known. but I'm like, really? I've been to Phoenix.
No, we don't.
No, there's no woods there. There's
not here. We do have bears up north, and I do have rattlesnakes.
Oh,
so there, yeah. So there is that. There is that.
Yeah. Yes. So now let's go back to that question about this. What do you do with the fear of your business?
Right.
Well, one thing is, whatever we're afraid of, it's good to write it down and look at it. And one of the best things you can do is just say, is this happening right now? No, it's not. Are people rejecting you right now? And even rejecting, what does rejecting mean? They didn't answer the phone? That doesn't mean they're rejecting me. You want to actually get clear. The words we tell ourselves are words to put us into fear. And so we have to be, and I mean, I say that too sometimes. I'll just say, oh, I'm screwed. My husband will say, no, you're not. I'm like, right, I'm not screwed.
Yeah.
I'm worried. I'm worried, is my computer going to crash? Or whatever. I'm not screwed if it crashes. I got my phone. All my devices aren't going to crash at once,
No.
But the thing is to just be in the moment. And there's a whole huge conversation about how do you do all this? But the important thing is to hear what you're saying, and is it true for real? It's true in your experience, you're screwed. Sure. It's true in your experience, you're afraid of being rejected. Are you actually rejected? And what does that mean? If someone says, I can't talk right now, or thanks for calling, but I don't need that right now. I don't need your service right now. I closed my old business. I don't need you yet. Well, would you like me to just follow up with you in a few months and see? Right. I'd be happy to do that. And if I can help you, that'd be great.
Sure.
Yeah. So you're you're not rejected. People aren't rejecting you. That doesn't mean they don't love you. They don't maybe even know you. So we want to be in the reality of all of that stuff, but at least to know that, oh, I'm so stressed. And I'll tell you something. About 2 months ago, I had 3 events in the same week. I was struggling with the technology, which we've already talked about. I couldn't figure out things to work, and I was often working on it late at night, so I couldn't get the support that I needed. And yeah, and so one night I had chest pain. I've never had chest pain. And I was like, told my husband, Chuck, I've never had this before. I've never felt this. I'm going to go lay down. So I lay down for a little bit and it didn't go away. And I said, I don't know, maybe we should call 911. So, well, five EMTs came in. That was the first people in our house in like 3 months or something.
True. Right.
Yeah.
Quarantine, no.
Right. And they did an EKG and they tested my lungs because it's COVID time. So they wanted to make sure, but I said, hey, you're the first people in our house. And they said, your EKG is perfect, but we don't know if you're having heart issues. The only way is to go to the hospital and have a blood test. Right. So I said, I don't want to go to the hospital. So they turned to my husband finally and they said, hey, if something keep an eye on her. If something happens, call us or take her to the hospital immediately.
Sure.
But he said, I said, if I was your mother, what would you do? And finally he said, I would watch you. I wouldn't take you right now.
Right. Especially with everything going on.
So someone in my family who has panic attacks quite a bit said, Marilyn, I think that was a panic attack. I'm like, really? Oh my God, that was horrible. I don't know what it was. But I thought I was having something. And I've never had that. So if I'm having that, then I can't imagine what it's like for people that already have a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
So if that's you, then you want to just be really careful about how you manage yourself so that you're taking care of yourself. And peaceful, calm, meditating, taking walks, being in nature, doing whatever you need to do. And if you're like me and you think you're never going to have that, well, I don't know. I hope not. But yeah.
So, I mean, I know you and, you are a nice, steady, calm person. You teach nice, steady, calm things.
Right.
I am an anxious person. I'm an all over the place wired person. So I can imagine what it is like because I've experienced that because, I have panic attacks and because I'm a slightly high stressed person.
Yes.
We talk about, the general we, and the general we being, coaches like us, people who work with, who work with business owners and so on. We talk about that self-care, how important that self-care piece is. And then, you get the eye roll, you get the, that, oh yeah, self-care. I got time for that. Here's a perfect example of someone who practices self-care and yet the given situation, what's going on in the business world, what's going on in the world in general, self-care, you gotta ramp it up a notch.
We do. And here's the thing, whether you're a parent or have a family, whether you're a business owner or you're talking about your employees or your clients, you cannot give something you don't have. So if you don't have peace and calm, and by the way, everyone else is freaking out one way or another. Maybe not obvious, maybe they're not even aware of it, but they're faster to react negatively. They have less patience. They're easily frustrated. They don't have as much resilience.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it's for many, many people, if we're not conscious about being kind, and all that stress I've been talking about is closer to the surface. So we have to take care of ourselves or we can't take care of our clients.
Absolutely. No, that is so true. So
Yeah.
now we talked about the fear of follow-up. We've talked about this stressful situation, and we're recording this. It's the middle of that. We hope it's the middle of, because if it's not the middle of, then we're still getting to the middle of the 2020, 2021, 2022 global COVID pandemic. And if you're listening to this in 2028, we probably have a pandemic going on. We probably have something going on. Something going on. So it's relevant whenever you hear this. So we've got a pandemic. We've got a fear of following up. Anyway, we could be, Pax Romani, peace on earth, goodwill toward men, all that stuff. And we still have this fear of follow-up. Now there's the additional fear of being pushy. I pick up the phone. I want to close this sale. And I don't want to say I need to close the sale. Don't ever, oh my gosh, do not pick up that phone if you need the sale. Don't do it, because that comes out in your voice. That comes out in everything that you do. Pick up the phone when you know that what you have is going to serve the person you're on the other end with, or that what you have is going to serve their audience. And yet, we have that fear that we sound pushy. What do I do?
First of all, don't use the word sales. Even to say I'm going to make a sales conversation, but it's going to be of service. Don't use the word sales. That word triggers us. I mean, unless it doesn't. If you're a salesperson or whatever. But for most of us, if we use the word sales, it sets us up as, I've got something I want you to have.
Right.
And now I'm not of service to you. I'm not listening for what you need. Maybe you don't need what I want. Maybe there's something else you need. Maybe this isn't the time. Maybe not. Maybe you're not ready to buy and there's no opening for that. Okay. But I can connect with you. So I want to be, my intention when I dial the phone is to connect. It's to connect and see, what do you need? And the thing is, it might not be something I provide. For example, if somebody needed business coaching in funnels and all the stuff that you do, Catherine, I refer them to you. I say, well, that isn't really my, that's not my sweet spot. I know a little bit about it, but I'm no expert.
Sure.
You need to talk to Catherine. Or if it's somebody who needs to do graphics or something. I don't do graphics. I have a Canva account, but I don't do graphics. So it'd be like, let me see if I can find someone who would be, who you could hire, or an editor for the chapter in the book you're going to be
We're all writing
which
we're book.
That's right. So whatever they need, I have a ton of connections, and my connections have connections. So if I'm of service, and when someone does that, and it's not a one-time ever connect, but you support them, you're there for them. When they know, Catherine, she could help me with this, they're much more likely to call you and say, hey, don't you do X? Or don't you do Y? And you're like, yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely.
Yeah. What do you need? How can I help you? And now they're coming to you. But when you call someone and you really don't know, like say they answered an ad, or you were on a podcast and somebody reaches out and sends a contact to you and they say, hey, could we talk? You don't even know what they want to talk about. And you call them. You don't start pitching. No. You go, tell me about you. You want to know about them. Nobody listens to us most of the time.
Yeah.
And we're not heard or seen. And it triggers, it triggers in us all the times in the past that we weren't seen and heard. Now, I don't know. We were just, Catherine and I were just on a 3-day call.
Oh my gosh.
Which was called Message Mastery. And they were nicknaming it Kleenex Mastery.
Oh my gosh.
There was a lot of crying on the call.
There was.
And I actually, oh my God, I've forgiven my dad for not being like the TV father many years ago and again and again. And yet I'm telling a story about that. And I was crying I'm like, really? Those wounds aren't just up here. They're in our heart, and then they're in
Right.
our body. And
Yes. Yeah.
so it
Muscle
doesn't
memory.
make sense, but we're sensitive to certain triggers.
Right.
So most of us never got seen and heard the way that we yearned for, and we still don't. And that's part of, I think, the fear when we're calling. We don't want to be rejected. We want to be heard. We want what we offer to be of value. And a lot of times it's not. And you give things away and then people want more. And you're like, hey, I need to be paid. but
Right.
they don't want to pay.
Right.
And now we're angry and we don't feel seen, heard, or appreciated. We got all that stuff. So when you dial up, you got to get yourself clear. So you are only of service to them. And all you need is one person at a time. And to want what you offer. And now your heart's happy and they're happy and you have a little match made in heaven. And then you pick up the phone again and you call someone else and someone else and someone else. And if you're of service, I recently called someone that I hadn't spoken to ever. And she had contacted me and I never saw the contact.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah.
It happens to the best.
Yes. And so I called her and I'm like, I'm so sorry I never reached out to you.
Yeah.
And it was about, she was afraid she was going to get divorced. And I'm like, I don't even know what's happening with you in your life. And she said, oh, I got divorced. She sounded so happy. We talked. Right. She said to me, Marilyn, I can't believe you called me. Like, that is amazing. Like, amazing. I'm an idiot. I'm thinking to myself. But she's like, she was so appreciative. And I was just asking, what's going on with you? How are you doing? I said, well, wow, you sound great. And then I said to her, are you dating anyone? She said, no, I do not think. And she's young. And I was like, wow, well, you know, I would love to have a conversation with you. And we could talk about how you could get ready for love. So when you are ready, it's going to come to you.
Yeah.
You know, and the other thing is she's now a consultant and we were talking about how I could support her in. I didn't have any, when I called her, I was just like, are you okay?
No,
I'm not going to sell her anything. My own integrity. That's all.
No agenda.
No agenda. No agenda. And when you get to that, it is such a freedom. Such a freedom. It's amazing. And then whatever happens, it's great because you made a connection with someone. And at the end of the call, you could just say, you know, it doesn't sound like you're an opening for this right now, and that's fine. Would you like me to follow up in the future, like in a month or 2 or 3, whatever? What do you think? Would that support you? And if they feel like they really connected to you and it's not a total waste of time for them, they're going to say, yeah, why don't you maybe like in 3 months or in September after school starts or whatever. And you go, great, let's pick a date. Then we'll just put it in our calendar. Of course, we can change it, but that way we at least have a placeholder. What do you think?
You've got something going on. And the other thing that I find is you say that anyway, like, do you want me to follow up with you? Just see if you need anything. And when on occasion when they don't, they go, but you know, I know of someone who, and that's an even big, to me, that's like an even bigger joy because it's like, I get that you don't need me. You know, I get that what I do is not right for you or right for you right now, but you just went out of your way to say, I know somebody else. You like me enough, like the Sally Fields, you like me, you really like me. But you made such an impression that they're sitting there in the Rolodex in their brain going, I know who I got to connect Marilyn with. I know who I got to connect her with.
When you're of service, that's what can happen. It won't happen if you're not of service.
Right. And you be in integrity, be of service, be listening. You you talked about, we weren't heard. And that was a big theme over the weekend that we just experienced. Not being heard, being afraid, not being protected, which is, you're not protected because nobody's hearing that you have this need. Well, if you feel like that, guess what? Person on the other end of the line feels that. So listen and be of service and see what you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And, sometimes one of the things that I find in general, women are more open about that.
Right.
And sometimes men are, but a lot of men in business, they're not really, and that was a lot of, my dad was not aware of his feelings at all and didn't even acknowledge them. I saw him cry twice in my whole life. When his mom died and when my mom died. That was it.
That was it.
That was it. And yet there was something there, but he didn't have words for it. He didn't know how to express it. But when we are there for them, there is a chance for people to feel that connection.
Right.
And they may not have words for it. They may not even say, I know someone, but they will like having been with you.
Right.
And you may be memorable for that. Yeah.
It goes around and comes around.
Yeah. I'm looking at some notes that I have. One of the things, so I have a lot of gifts and I don't have a page. So if you want any of the stuff, you need to write down what it is. And then you can go to my contact page.
Right. We just put that up.
Awesome.
Yes, me, myself, and I, and Digby the dog, and Nebby the cat, I'm so glad that people can't see what my hands are doing, because I keep going, get your tail down, Nebu, get your tail down. But yes, so I have just put up loveLead.com/contact.
Right.
To get in touch with Marilyn, to have that conversation with her.
Yeah. Well, there's a number of things. So one is, and I didn't say this. So one is buy my book. So my book is 99 cents on Kindle. I made it super cheap.
How dare you?
I know, because
so expensive. What?
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I should have made it 97. I messed up. But the reason I did that is because no one's going to I'm not like J.K. Rowling's where people are going to be like, I got to buy that book by Marilyn Sutherland. So I want to make it so easy because I want to get the information out.
Right.
And so 99 cents is that should not be friction at all.
That's not
And when you buy the book, you can download a centering practice, which has to do with feeling in your body. And it's a less than 10 minute practice that does a little bit of sensing your body and also some affirmations. So it's try it once. If you hate it, delete it. If you like it, listen to it again.
Yeah. If you like it, do it again. If you hate it, just throw it back at me. Yeah. Why would I do a centering practice? What value is that going to provide me in my day? Because I have so much time to sit there for 10 minutes and center. Tell me why.
Because we are mostly in fear, reaction, survival reaction.
Amen, sister. Amen.
And we're not thinking clearly. How many times are you doing something like most of you this might resonate with? Some people say, I'm going to do X, and they do X from start to finish. I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. Then somehow I'm on Facebook. I don't know. I'm watching videos. And all of a sudden I'm like, what time is it?
Yeah.
Because I'm not present. And then you bring yourself back. So this little centering practice, like meditation, it's another form, or mindfulness, whatever you're doing, walking intentionally, anything that gets you out of your head and into your body, gets you out of reaction mode, allows your thinking brain to come back online, and allows you to actually take committed action consistent with your intention instead of with avoidance and survival.
So, I do it. More than I'd like to admit. You go on autopilot and then you realize you're on autopilot, and then you start overthinking. Rather than having the heart and the brain kind of do in sync harmoniously, you go all head, then all heart, then you're up, you're down, you're side to side. So yeah, a centering practice, something that you can do for 10 minutes a day, maybe even once or twice a day, just to bring you back to, all right.
Yeah. Or just feel your feet on the floor. Just put your feet on the floor for a minute and do some slow, deep breathing. Let your shoulders drop. Breathe in, let your jaw drop and relax. Relax your face. Yeah. Feel your feet on the floor. Let your legs sink into the chair and your feet to sink into the floor. Get out of your head and into your body. Even a minute makes a difference.
Huge difference. And ladies and gentlemen, here's a little tip for you. Your shoulders are not earrings. They're not. They're down here. They don't belong up here. Your earrings are your earrings. Your shoulders are your shoulders.
And never the two should meet.
Hopefully. And never the two shall meet. Marilyn, let's talk about the role of confidence, of self-confidence in follow-up.
Yeah. I do have one more thing that I want to say about connecting. So one of the things that I talk about in connecting, and then we'll come back to self-confidence.
Yeah.
So one of the things about connecting is I talk about intentional connection. So I've used the word intentional a few times, like our intention. When we do not connect intentionally, which is how you want to connect when you're doing follow-up, but we're just like in a hurry in our heads, like we're in a rush. Hurry up. Come on, hurry up. We say that to our kids or our family members or our employees. Why aren't you done yet? Because we're under pressure. We're stressed out. We're not thinking. And now they're freaked out because, oh my God, she's mad at me or he's mad at me. Yeah. So we want to intentionally connect. And there's two things you can do. You can either push people away, which was the subtitle of my book, 9 Whopping Mistakes that push love away, or you can pull people to you, which is attract them to you. There's many ways to push people away. And my book talks about 9 of them, and there's tons more.
Oh, yes.
Tons more. But pushing away means you're either ignoring them, meaning someone says, hey, what are you doing? Or may I interrupt? And you don't even respond. Or maybe you just go like this, like get away.
Talk to the hand.
Reject. Yeah. Or they say, hey, where's the so-and-so report? And you just say, when are we going to lunch? What? Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
Because you didn't act. So you treat people like they don't matter. They're invisible. They're worthless. Right. They have no value. Many of us have some kind of reaction to that. Not good.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. So that's ignoring. The other thing is you can attack them in some way. What do I mean by attack? Well, it's a word that includes demeaning, sarcasm, teasing, criticizing, yelling, teasing. Yeah. I once had someone say, well, I like to tease. That's fun for me. But my husband doesn't like it. I'm like, then don't do it.
And don't do it. Yeah.
Don't do it. Because if you're doing it, you're not connecting and pulling them to you. You're pushing them away, and you're doing it on purpose. And you're saying, basically, I don't care how you feel. It's fun for me.
It's fun
for me. With you.
Right. Yeah.
Not good. You do that long enough and your partner's going to eventually leave you. Or at least disconnect. Right. And that's the thing. People were like, I don't know what I did. Yeah, it's been 20 years or 16 years or 8 years. When I was doing research about my book, why did you look but the dishwasher? I found a website where men mostly were on saying some version of my wife left me because I put cups on the side of the sink. What was that about? That's not why they left. What? They left you because they told you over and over again what they wanted, so they wouldn't feel like a maid or whatever their story was.
Right.
And you never heard them. They left because you didn't see and hear them. You didn't care. And even though you brought flowers, flowers wasn't their love language. And if
Right.
you don't know what love language is, contact me about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
I recently did the love language test, and it was not a surprise.
Yeah.
It was not a surprise.
Yeah. But most of us, if you ask us, we might not really know.
Yeah.
Because we're not in that world, but once you do the test, you know, right? So, Guy said, I brought her flowers every week. She didn't care about flowers. She didn't care about gifts. She wanted acts of service. Put the cup in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
So anyway, intentional connection. And there's one question that you could ask yourself in any moment. You could say, just, am I pushing them away right now? And how do you know that? If you're on the phone, you listen to their voice. If you're looking at them, or you're on a video conference, which I recommend when you're talking to your clients, if you can get on video, get on video.
Oh gosh, yes.
Because you can see them. If you say, well, why did you do that? Like the cover of my book, why did you do that? And it's a little critical, and they're just like, oh, or they kind of pull back. You go, oh, wait, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. You want to catch it right away and fix it.
Right, right.
If you let that go, that's a little, in my book, I talk about we're either building a wall that pushes people away, or we're taking it down. Every time you do that a little bit, it's like you're adding a brick to a wall. Pretty soon the brick is so high, you can barely see over it. You're disconnected from people. That's why people find other companies to serve them, because you were doing things unconsciously that didn't make them feel important, didn't make them feel like they cared about you, only that you cared about you. And so they found someone else. Maybe that person won't serve them any better, but at least at the beginning, they were paying attention and you weren't.
Right.
So it's really important that you intentionally connect everywhere, not just with your everyone. You want to be as intentional as you can. Will you make mistakes? Will you be preoccupied sometimes? Sure. Yes, yes, yes. But the more you have been aware of what you're doing and acknowledging it and generating intentional connection, people will forgive you, because nobody's perfect.
Right. No, yeah. So the way you are in business is the way you are personally. And the way you are personally is the way you are in business. Please don't argue that point with me, because I will show you every single time the way you are in business is the way you are personally, and the way you are personally is the way you are in business. And if you're out there saying, well, I need to be aggressive in business, and I need to be a jackass in business, and I need to be this and that and the other thing, first of all, nobody's doing business that way anymore. Stop it. Just stop it. And second of all, if you're wondering why your husband or wife left you, if you're wondering why your kids don't speak to you, if you're wondering any of those things, because you say, oh no, when I get home, I'm not a jackass. Yes, you are. So get Marilyn's book, loveleadconnect.com/contact. Get with Marilyn and understand how you are at home is how you are at the office, and how you are at the office is how you are at home. They are so intertwined. They are so absolutely intertwined. You can't.
Yeah. And there's one exception to that. There's one exception, which is sometimes people like someone is angry with their family because they feel safe, they can express it, but they're really nice at work. But the problem is, it's usually not authentic, because that anger leaks out. Right. So you think you're nice.
Right.
They're all walking on eggshells around you. And even if you ask them, they're not going to tell you the truth, because they don't want that anger coming at them. And maybe they're not even aware of it. They just don't quite feel like they can relax with you.
Yeah, and you can feel it. You can feel it. And that, I find that to be the passive aggressive people. Don't get passive aggressive with me. Oh my gosh. I think of all the things. If you yell at me, I'm good with that. I know where you stand. If you burst out in tears, I know where you stand. If you ignore me, I know where you stand. If you're passive aggressive, I want to slap you. I just want to slap you.
Pay attention, people.
Exactly. But I think that's...
But it's authentic. It's authentic.
Yeah.
But the thing is, a lot of people who are passive aggressive don't know. A lot of people have never had permission when they were growing up to say how they felt, or they were in jobs where the people around them couldn't hear it. And or maybe they didn't know how to express themselves because it was all or nothing. Either you shut it down, lock it in a box and put it away, or you're a mess. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, but the point is, what Catherine is saying is accurate. No matter whether you think you're doing it successfully or not, you are the same everywhere. And we have a sixth sense for people. That's why sometimes you get the heebie-jeebies, or you get the hair on the back of your neck stands up. You have no idea. But there's something.
There's something I don't like about you.
And people don't relax when that happens, and they're not going to do business with you.
Yep.
And that's,
And so, I may need your product or service, like Marilyn said earlier. I may need what you have, but there's something about you. I will go to someplace higher priced. Exactly. I will go to, hey, right now I'm doing some domain name releasing and some domain name transferring and all this domain name stuff and my hosting and all this other stuff. So I went with GoDaddy, and I know like 30 million of you out there are going, oh, Jesus, why are you paying GoDaddy prices instead of just getting your domains there? And why are you hosting with them? Because of Kyle. Because Kyle was on the phone with me from GoDaddy, and he walked me through step by step, and he was genuine.
That's it.
And
right.
That's it right there.
He cared about you. He served you. Right.
I am paying a lot more money than I would pay elsewhere. And for right now, until I know what I need to know, someone else out there was genuine, was heart-centered. And yeah, you can be heart-centered and do whatever. Genuine. That is the key word.
And you need peace of mind right now.
I need peace of mind right now.
You need peace of mind. That is worth way more than whatever extra you're paying.
Exactly.
Way more.
So when you come from a place of authenticity, when you do all the things that Marilyn is going to teach you how to do, you can charge more for what you do. Absolutely. Because you bring value.
Right.
Marilyn, it is always a pleasure to hang with you.
Yeah.
It is always so much fun to hang out with you.
Thank you.
Every Monday, 2:00, we've got Funnels and Follow-Up come to you live. And then we go on YouTube. Then we stay on the Funnels and Follow-Up page on Facebook. And you can find us on all of your favorite podcast players. We're uploaded on all the favorite podcast players, so you can listen to us in your car. You don't have to. It's always fun to see our happy, smiling faces, but you can drive and listen at the same time and not have to look. Don't look.
I have one more thing to add.
Absolutely.
One more thing. I have, two offers that I didn't even mention.
Okay.
One of them is a self-confidence e-report. And why is self-confidence important? Because if you don't believe in yourself, people won't believe in you either.
No.
You gotta work on that.
Yep.
And the last thing is, I'm offering to everyone who's listening a complimentary 90-minute session where we do a self-assessment on the 12 healthy habits in relationship and communication for leaders and people in business.
All right. 90 minutes.
90 minutes.
That is.
I can't do it any less, because you tell me what you're dealing with. And then we do an assessment. You evaluate yourself. Then you rate yourself, and then I provide feedback on what you can take going forward. If you want to hear, and here's my offer. If you want to hear about how I could serve you after you've been with me for almost 90 minutes, I'll tell you. And if you don't, that's okay too. Hopefully you will. But I also want people to be served and the world to be a better place, one person at a time.
All right. That makes perfect sense. So again, lovelyconnect.com/contact. Get in touch with Marilyn. 90 minutes. That's
90
crazy.
minutes. I know.
That's
I know.
great. That's insane. Well, do it. Do it before she gains her sanity back. I want to thank everybody for listening into the show. I want to thank you for all your support. Marilyn, always great to see you. And until next time, this has been Catherine Cohen with Funnels and Follow-Up.